Ozzy. It's wonderful to be talking today. How are you?
Hey, I could be better, but I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
Well, look, I've spoken to survivors over the years, and usually when you watch things back, sometimes all of those emotions, it puts them right back into the moment. How are you feeling today watching everything back last night?
I mean, it's rough. Obviously, it's one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life up to this point. $2 million decision. It's hard to walk away from that. It's hard not to have regret. Been
Right,
thinking about this moment for the last 10 months since I got my torch snuffed, thinking about what it was going to be like sitting in a hotel room in New York City, talking to all of y'all saying, oh man, that was such a boneheaded move. But it also provides a little bit of closure
right.
because I I I got really lucky with the way that my story was told, and I am just so blessed that I feel like I had a nice kind of well-rounded arc to my Survivor experience. And yeah, I didn't win, but it one thing I've learned about Survivor is sometimes when you lose,
Yeah,
you can win.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean it's been just an absolute blast. Had a watch party here in New York City,
Uh,
300 plus people, fans, and to be able to share and be vulnerable in front of that many people and to go out and say, thank you for sending me here and thank you for being here. Thank you for putting me here and thank you for being receiving me when I finish.
yeah. Well, you have to take heart in the fact there's fans out there who've been fans of yours for 20 years. That's a considerable legacy to have. And there's been a lot of talk that you've played your best game yet. Do you feel a little bit of redemption in that fact? Because a lot of people are talking about Jonathan's played better, Ozzy's played better as well.
Yeah, I'm just grateful that I had a chance to go out and prove that, sometimes an old dog can learn new tricks. And I'm maybe just a little too old to learn all the tricks, but I learned my lessons and I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is there's an intuition that we all hold. There is a subconscious, there are other senses that we don't put enough value on.
Right,
We go through this life, at least a lot of people, myself included,
right,
by thinking things through when often you need to check in with other parts of your body in order to make the decision that is going to get you further in life and not just in a game. So that was my big mistake. All of the warning signs, all of the alarm bells were going off. I had a nightmare the night before. I woke up that morning knowing I needed to play the idol. I had saw all of the signs, and then sure enough, my mind played a trick on me, and I talked myself out of it, and then torch snuff.
well, the thing is too, we've saw you change your game. In my perspective, you changed your game. You're more social with people, more empathetic with people. And do you think that affected your decision not to use the idol?
Oh, for sure. 100%. Part of that though was my this didn't make the cut,
Right.
but you saw me talk to Devons and we had a really heartfelt moment.
Yeah.
That same day, I think earlier in the day, because we had um we had gotten our family letters.
Right. That's right.
So everyone's talking about the hard things, right?
Yeah.
And I had a really touching moment with Jonathan and felt like we really bonded, felt like we really like grew closer as brothers outside of the game.
Right.
And I put a lot of weight into that. So when we got to the island, we got to Sela, back to Sela. Sorry, we got back to Sela. I felt like, oh, Jonathan, like we were just so connected. Like Jonathan's not going to screw me over now. Like he's like my homie.
Right.
Um, so that's part of the thing that got me in trouble. But doesn't even matter because I knew that I needed to play the idol. That's partially why I told Aubrey my plans, is
Right.
because I was trying to get this jury vote happening, and um by not playing the idol, telling Aubrey makes no sense.
Right.
So I had a great plan, and then at the last moment just risked it because I was getting a little too greedy and hoping that if I, one more day, then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there at top five and maybe four, and it just starts running away with you.
Well, I was going to ask you about, I mean, you're a very spiritual person. You talked about your dream giving you that warning. There's been other people in the past who've said the same thing to me. Like, I had a dream, I had a feeling. What do you think it is about the survivor experience or just being on that island that makes people more in touch with that kind of like what you're saying? There are other senses that maybe we don't pay attention to in the hustle and bustle, in our city life.
I mean, I think you're hitting on it right there. I think that we're so distracted on a day-to-day basis by life, the world, our phones. I mean, you can really just it's really just all of that when you're out there. And I think that a big part of it for me was I took up the meditation practice. And so every single morning, as soon as I woke up, I go
Right.
sit on the beach for half an hour, 45 minutes, and just get clear and let the thoughts go and visualize, the sort of like where I wanted to be and find myself. And I think that practice alone starts to clear out and you start to really become in touch with some of those things your subconscious is picking up on information all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't, if you're just listening to your thoughts, you don't have any reference, you don't have any real, you just start, you confuse yourself, right?
Yeah. Now, looking back at the beginning of the game, we had that challenge with coach and that whole situation. Looking back, what is your view about what happened and why?
I'm, I at the end of the day, like I felt like I wanted to work with Coach really bad. I wanted our story to change,
Yeah,
and I wanted us to be able to say, "Look, we learned, we grew, and we made it far in the game together." Um, but then when he just like took the key, I started to say, maybe I'm not as down to trust Coach as I thought because if Coach had just been like, all right, I took the key, I got the key, but hey guys, let's talk about this. Maybe
right.
there's always an opportunity to build relationships and build trust. Instead, he's just like, I'm taking this, I need it. And so I'm like, all right, well, I can't necessarily trust him in the way that I think. And but in all honesty, that was such a blessing because then I get the extra vote. I lock in with Cirie. Cirie then survives last night's vote because of that one maneuver from Coach. So Survivor teaches you that sometimes even when you lose, you actually win. And you've got to be ready for, an adjustment.
Right. Now, throughout the season, I mean, we saw a lot that you didn't even get to see that Cirie was really in your corner. She was really behind you. Were you surprised by this? And what do you think about your partnership with her? Because again, she was putting in a lot of work for you, Ozzy, which was good to see.
Yeah, I love Cirie with all my heart, and I feel blessed that I can call her a friend. She's a legend, and to sit front row to her master class and how to play reality TV shows properly, whether it's Survivor or Traitors or Big Brother or any other shows that she's a part of. She's really amazing. And just knowing that like you don't know if someone says to your face that they're on your side,
Right.
but she really proved it time and time again. And of course, the one tribal that we're not together, Ozzy blows it by not, by by not listening to his gut.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, she was there for you all throughout the show. Now, what was it like? I mean, you're from the old school. I've been watching since the beginning. What was it like, Ozzy, playing with these new school players, these new era players?
For the most part, it's a pleasure. I do think that they have a bigger, how can I put this? That they I mean, look, if you have never played the 39-day game,
Right.
you don't really know Survivor. You know Survivor Light. It's Diet Survivor. And
Right.
because of that, some of these players come in and they want to create chaos. They want to make big moves early on and make sure that they have like this reputation and they are adding to their resume. And it's like, yo, just chill out. Like, do you need to stab one of your best friend, survivor friends like Christian?
Right.
Christian's not a new era player, but still feel like he fits in with that. Like stabbing Mike White in the back ended up hurting Christian majorly. Emily throwing people like wanting to vote people out left and right and left and right, chaotic,
Yeah.
super chaotic. Riz God, the self-proclaimed Riz God, who now has like stabbed me in the back, who's exploded his relationship with Cirie, all for the sake of a little bit of clout. Like, I think that of course there's a way to play Survivor in that new era way.
Right.
Um, but I do think that there's a lot of lessons that the old school can teach.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be about honor and integrity,
Yeah.
but having people that you can trust and going to the end with a couple people and locking in and making it all the way together, I think is still really powerful. And I do hope that, we'll see, but I really hope that somebody from the old school
Right.
wins this game.
Well, just a couple more questions here before we go. But Ozzy, you're talking about, there has to be a winner. Now, obviously, you can't say who you're voted for, but when you were pondering who to make the winner or award the winner of Survivor 50, what were some of the things, as an experienced veteran player, what were you thinking about when you were making that decision?
It just comes down to who played the best game. And
Right.
I really tried to take out my own sort of ego out of it and just really look at like at the end of the day, who was able to adapt, who was able to move through and find a way to the end by any means necessary, but doing it in a way that I think is respectful and is not just sort of riding coattails, but making moves. I'm looking at all sorts of criteria. So even people that are stabbing me in the back, I'm going to try and look at in the past, I'd say, you know what, I'm not voting for them because they stabbed me in the back. No, this is a different Aussie, and I've got a different criteria for who I'm voting for, and it really just is who played the best damn game of Survivor.
Well, Ozzy, it was great to watch you again. It was great to see the evolution of Ozzy too. And it's not, you get this from a lot of players, but it's not very easy to put yourself out there and expose your emotions. As a person who wears his emotions on his sleeve, I understand how that is and how that could be a good and bad for all of us. But it was wonderful to see you out there again. And I heard about the restaurant, all the good luck with the restaurant. That's fantastic. And can't wait to see you at the finale, Ozzy.
Oh yeah, well the restaurant is just part of it. I have a project that I'm working on where basically I'm opening a eco resort that
Wow.
has a survivor experience factor to it, a little survivor hook. So you can come down, stay with me on the beach in Mexico, learn how to open up coconuts, climb coconut trees, maybe go spearfishing, and maybe we even play a little mini version of the game. So you get a little taste of what it's like to actually be there on the beach fighting for your life, getting your torch snuffed
Wow.
and backstabbing and all the whole thing all that goes along with Survivor. So stay tuned on that, working on it because I want to be able to share what I've been able to experience through Survivor with all the fans that will never get to play the actual game, but you can come and play with me.
That is awesome, Ozzy. Well, anyways, best of luck in the future. Take care and can't wait to see you on the finale.
Thank you so much.
Take